grade, and welcome to another video on global studies. So, I was about to go for a walk, but I stepped outside and I thought to myself, what would the world be like if there were no rules? We could just do whatever we wanted. What do you think the world would be like if there were no rules at all? I then started to think about, where would we be right now? There is a global pandemic going on because there's this really bad strand of coronavirus that is infecting many people. Now, we shouldn't be worried or scared, but we do have to take certain precautions. The governor of Pennsylvania has asked for everyone to stay at home unless it's an absolute emergency that they need to go out. He's also asked that everyone wear a mask just to try and keep your germs to yourself as much as possible. How would we handle this pandemic if there were no rules? I don't think it's very realistic to picture life without picturing some sort of structure. So, today we're going to learn a little bit about government and why we have the rules we have. Today's lesson is all about government and democracy. Remember, your objective is what you should know by the end of this lesson. You should be able to identify what government and democracy are and why they are important. Let's start with government. A government system is necessary when groups of people live together in a country, a state, city, or even a local community. The people in these communities have to live by a certain set of rules in order to keep everyone safe. Pay close attention to this slide because you'll need it for an activity that comes after this lesson. Government is defined as the system of rules and the people who make them, as well as those that ensure that the rules are being followed. So let's break this into three separate parts. The government includes the system of rules, so the rules themselves, the people who make the rules, and the people that make sure that the rules are being followed. So, why do we even have a government? Well, first, the government is created by people, and it is created to protect people. An example of this would be the military. So, if there was a war, we have people that we can send out to fight for our country so that people aren't just attacking us all the time. Another reason we have government is to help people, to provide aid. So, for example, in the case of Hurricane Katrina, there was a lot of devastation. So, the government was able to send aid or supplies and people to help those who were affected by the hurricane. Currently, with the pandemic we're facing, the government was able to provide aid in the form of a check that they were able to send to a lot of people in our nation to help with some expenses that might have come up because of this pandemic and all of us staying safe at home. Now, government in different places looks a little bit different. For example, the government of a different country is completely different from the government in the United States of America. So, who makes up the government is going to be different depending where you go. Some people that may make up your government may include a president, a leader, or some kings and queens. State police officers may make up your government, judges, as well as Congress members. Congress members are a part of the United States government. These are the people that vote on the laws that should be passed. Law? That's a new word. Some of you may have never heard this term. A law is a fancy way of saying a rule that the country must abide by or follow. So, who does the government impact? Well, the government impacts everyone, no matter how old or how young you are. Everyone must abide or follow the rules that are set by the government. So now, let's look into the government system in the United States. The United States is a democracy. What does that mean? There are two types of democracy: direct and indirect. In a direct democracy, individuals make all of the decisions themselves. However, the United States is considered an indirect democracy. That is when people represent communities and make decisions for the communities they serve. So, in this indirect democracy, you get to vote on who you want to represent your community or even your country. In this democracy, we have the ability to vote for who we want. However, the majority vote wins. That means that whoever gets the most votes wins the election. In this country, you can vote if you are a United States citizen, you are at least 18 years old, and you have to be registered to vote. I know what you're thinking. Why is democracy important? Well, it allows us to have a say in what happens in our country. We are able to vote for who we think will run our country the best. In some places around the world, people do not get to vote on who they want to run their country, and kings and queens are just born into power. In this country, we are able to listen to the different sides of people who want to lead the country and then vote for who we like the best. Another reason democracy is important is because it allows us to have certain freedoms, such as freedom of speech. This means we can say certain things without being punished by law. In other countries, they are not allowed to disagree with the government. And if they speak on any disagreement they have, they could be seriously punished by the government. In this country, we are allowed to disagree with something that the government has done, and we're allowed to voice our opinions. Hmm. Remember that one slide that I told you would be super helpful for our activity? Well, here's the activity. In your folder for today, you will find this Frayer model. You are going to be filling it out based on what you just learned about government. So first, you're going to fill out, what does government mean? That's where that slide will come in handy. Next, in your own words, you're going to tell me what government does, who is a part of it, and who it affects. But before we get into that, I feel like we can use a song break. No worries, guys. I won't be singing or rapping in this video. Let's have someone else sing for us.
Whew, you sure gotta climb a lot of steps to get to this Capitol building here in Washington. Well, I wonder who that sad little scrap of paper is.
I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill. And I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill. Well, it's a long, long journey to the capital city. It's a long, long wait while I'm sitting in committee. But I know I'll be a law someday. At least I hope and pray that I will. But today I am still just a bill.
Gee, Bill, you certainly have a lot of patience and courage.
Well, I got this far. When I started, I wasn't even a bill. I was just an idea. Some folks back home decided they wanted a law passed, so they called their local congressman, and he said, "You're right, there ought to be a law." Then he sat down and wrote me out and introduced me to Congress, and I became a bill. And I'll remain a bill until they decide to make me a law. I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill. And I got as far as Capitol Hill. Well, now I'm stuck in committee, and I'll sit here and wait while a few key congressmen discuss and debate whether they should let me be a law. How I hope and pray that they will. But today I am still just a bill.
Listen to those congressmen arguing. Is all that discussion and debate about you?
Yeah, I'm one of the lucky ones. Most bills never even get this far. I hope they decide to report on me favorably, otherwise I may die.
Die?
Yeah, die in committee. Oh, but it looks like I'm going to live. Now I go to the House of Representatives and they vote on me.
If they vote yes, what happens?
Then I go to the Senate and the whole thing starts all over again.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill. And if they vote for me on Capitol Hill, well, then I'm off to the White House where I'll wait in a line with a lot of other bills for the president to sign. And if he signs me, then I'll be a law. How I hope and pray that he will. But today I am still just a bill.
You mean even if the whole Congress says you should be a law, the president can still say no?
Yes, that's called a veto. If the president vetoes me, I have to go back to Congress and they vote on me again, and by that time you're so
By
old.
that time, it's very unlikely that you become a law. It's not easy to become a law, is it?
No, but how I hope and pray that I will. But today I am still just a bill. He signed your bill. Now you're a law. Oh, yes.
See? Now you know exactly what a law is and how it gets passed. You also know a whole lot about government, why it's important, as well as the United States government, which is a democracy, and why that's important. You guys are geniuses. Your face should look just like Patrick Starr's right now. I hope you have a great week, and I look forward to seeing all of your assignments from the week.